Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I am your host, Kimberly Cloud. So, today we're going to be looking at the statistics of arrests. I hope I put that right because I know how I like to keep a word or vowel messing up. Anyway, we're going to look at the statistics of the African American male versus the African American female. We're going to do that um, right now. I've been looking, and I wanted to give the my um, advice, real quick, and then we're going to look it up. So my advice would be the if you like are in a place like New York, not saying New York is bad. New York is a good place, but depending on how much you got to spend, you know, it may not be suitable for you. But if you're a people person, then fine. And just tread softly and move to a small town to start over, and you can do the and look at the minimum wage. Maybe your life is ruined because you have a felony. Well, look at the minimum wage in each state and then go to that state. Save up your money. Don't don't be like Kane and wait till the last minute, and then by the time you move in, people come in a putt in car, box car, ready to shoot you down because you're trying to redo something with your life positive. Menace to society. So, yeah, but let's get started. Okay, we're going to go all the way up. I hope I don't have nothing crazy up here. That some people are like, okay. Okay, I did a whole new one. Okay, cool. Statistics of Black men who went or gone to jail. Black residents face jail incarceration rate of 552 per 100,000 compared to 155 per 100,000 white residents. Now, I don't think that it's because I don't want to think that this is a racial or systematic thing. I want to think of it like the residents, they believe that their white counterparts don't do crime, or maybe they know that their white counterparts do crime and they turn a blind eye. I don't know. I don't know if it's the skin color. I don't know. We did have racism here for hundreds, if not thousands of years, you know. But, you know, what's scary is this. I'm about to show you in a second. It's 4.1 times more likely black men are 4.1 times more likely to be in prison than their white male counterparts. And I'm not saying this is a black or white thing, but I'm just throwing the statistics out there that the more of us are incarcerated, the taxpayers pay their food, and board. And I think that they should not be arrested for a long time unless it has something to do with death of a person. I think that they should be reprogrammed. There is no reprogram. The slightest reprogramming that they talk about comes from a new technology that can put a killer inside a killer thoughts to make them feel empathy for what they did. I heard about something like that. Other than that, men are 4.1, black men are 4.1 one times more likely to be in prison, and that's that's scary. What is our prisons going to be like? Reprogramming. We must reprogram them. We don't. We just put them amongst each other. Some kill, some fight, some lose eyes, some lose fingers, some lose their face. And for some reason, it's this, going to jail for a black man is more addicting than porn. And you know how I know? Because the statistics is that they go to jail and they rotate in and out of jail. If they cared about porn, they would not be in jail. So I think that they have more of a gravitation towards jail than porn. I don't understand. I'm not bashing black men. I just feel that that's a scary thing, being a target. That's a scary thing. But then you have some men that are actually murderers. If they're murderers, then I've seen murderers actually come to um, the forefront and become social workers in Baltimore. I was going for when I was going for my bachelor's, I was doing internship, and there was this guy who had, it was manslaughter, or he had this lined up story, not excuse, and he started over and he became an intern and then went on to get his degree, his bachelor's degree. you know um People could be rehabilitated, but they must be programmed first. There is no programs. There's barely any programs in prison. They need the right people in prison, in jails, talking to them, even if it has to be behind a wall or on a virtual screen. Make them see what they did wrong. Make them believe that they can be different in society once they're released. Open them with open arms and not another knife. You might as well put the knife in the people's hands. Go do it again, my child, and come back to me when I'm ready. And it's just, we need to reprogram them. Now, I say we get scientific with this. If they are repeat, because it's going to take generations to flood out the killers and make it the killers drop down. And so I say we use a piece of technology to either change their behavior or put something in them that they get one more chance. But if they mess up or kill, they're always going to be monitored. That's what it's going to come to. People that kill and get out after 30 years. I don't see how these sentences be, but they get out after 30 years. I don't know how somebody's life could be worth 7 years. One black girl life was worth 7 years, and her own black kind. I'm not prejudiced, but just think, when your own race just then don't care, they just want you dead. It's just, it's sad. He raped and he strangled her. Move out of your area. Look at the minimum wage. Move out of your area and sit up there and try to figure this thing out. Like, if I make $24 an hour in Utah, you know, and I have a roommate, or I bring three of my close relatives with me, you know, and we all share a room and save up money. And you have to make sure that these are people that's really going to pay the rent and pay the bills, and not just jive you every few weeks, you know. If you That's one thing I commend about Africans, you know, and some some Africans and some Hispanics, you know, they live together, and they make their money. Sometimes they're by themselves, but sometimes if they need to, they work together in teams. They're very team oriented, you know, um like living together, cousins living amongst each other. That has to be hell. So 1,200 in 2021 of 100,000 men were in prison. So 33% were black. So around 2022, that's when people started getting, I even am a part of that statistic. How many were in America versus in jail? So it's almost a million. But then they said about 1.2 million people, total black individuals, make up roughly 33% of sentenced prisoners, around 396,000. Local jails, 650,000. It's 43.1 million people that are black alone. Now, out of that 43.1 million, that's not a lot. That's not a lot of black people here. But we together, you know, like I don't want, but listen to what I'm trying to say. That's not a lot of black people, but together we make up a percentage of, like, the statistics about 33% out of, because it's 370 million. So we make up, like, let me make sure I'm saying this correctly. It's 380 or 90 million people here in America right now. 342 million people. That's, we make up that 42.7, but 300, like, I think, if I was to say this right, white European descent make up 60 to 70 million. How many are white? I want to say 63 or 4%. So that's roughly Okay, so there's like, and then the rest is probably um like 27%. Let's see if they did it. There's more white women than white men, and non-Hispanic together would be 191.4 million. It's pretty cool. Okay, back up here. Um, there is 43.1 million. And out of that 43.1 million, 1,460,000 were black. It went down due to reform up until 2023, 2024, um, about that time, and then it rose. They don't have the statistics yet for 2025 until 2026 or later on in the quarter. So I was a part of the black females who were incarcerated. Um, I hate that I was incarcerated. It definitely gave me a wake up call about everything. So the rest, like about 27%, the 32% are Hispanic too. And then the rest are immigrants. Let's see. I just want to see for my own creativity. I say 32% based on what I've seen. It's 20. I was way off. I said 27. Way off. Had it been 22%, I would have been in the ballpark. Okay, okay. So, that's scary. The black population is diminishing. Because it's like, I notice I'm not trying to sound like that. I'm not trying to sound funny. I swear to God, I'm wholeheartedly, to be quite honest with you guys, I don't want to put my business out there, but like men has preferences. Men have preferences, right? And I like have preferences. So the reason why I'm saying this is to show you I am not prejudiced. I'm far from prejudiced. The way it's coming out is not sounding like what I'm actually trying to say. I'm just looking at it for what it is. It's 41 million or 42 million black people here, and there's 68 million, and it has been said that black people get go to jail quicker than it used to be quicker than a Hispanic. I was in the courtroom, y'all, and I had my case together. I even had the video of the case. And the judge wouldn't take it. The judge ruled in the other person's favor because of them being Hispanic and being here in being there in California. And that's what I mean, like that there is, like, you go to Atlanta, it probably would have been reversed. It probably would have been reversed for me because that's wholeheartedly a Black community. I think there should be a balance. There should be across the board a balance of both Democrats, Republicans, and or independents. There should be a balance based on independents, Democrats, and Republicans. So something like this will not happen, whether in the government or whether um, with the population. Because now that's how many documented Hispanics there are. And they're they do have like a high fertility rate. I'm not saying that something's wrong with that. If they want to have children, that's on them. Have a child, you know. But there is no buts. If that's on you, you can have a child. There's no buts about that. If there was a but, I would be like, there's a but, but there is no buts. That's on you. Be the best mother you can be. Be all you can be, you know. So, how many undocumented um, Hispanics are there? And immigrants in the United States? I would like to say that this must be, they said like 80 million to 120 million came in, and they just been getting them out by the thousands. And so that I hate to see families ripped apart. That's one, you know, I may have been ripped apart from my family, but I hate to see families ripped apart. So immigrants would be the next 100, well, million almost, or 160 or 100 and something million. Oh, I was wrong. Way off. So there's 59 million or 15. That's a lot. So that's 51 million. Dang, who the other? What other in descent? Africa, European, we know where that's at. Asia, Latin America. Other. 8 million. I don't want to know about this. What I want to know is about undocumented Hispanics. 30% are undocumented. Why don't we just have a honest and fair, like where the people really, I think we should have used the Amazon servers to do voting, but then that would have been scary. So I kind of get his drift, but one day, whether he knows it or not, or likes it or not, somebody's going to do electronic again. Somebody is going to do, and it's going to be more security. The security where they were putting in stuff, you can break into. Donald Trump Jr. was talking about that. And the people who are connected to those servers, their organizations are connected to, I don't want to say her now, allegedly Nancy Pelosi. I could be saying that wrong. That's like telling somebody 40 times the something, 40 different people. I could be saying that wrong, so don't quote me on that personally. So pretty much, you know, I think that there should be, the reason why I bring up voting is because there's going to be work. Hispanics are going to multiply. Black people are going to multiply too. White people are going to multiply too. But what is what is happening is that you know people are being ripped away from their families. When when can someone have ownership for breaking the law? You know, even while I someone illegally gave me a drug, I broke the law because it was me that did it. But the Manchurian candidate and everything else that comes with that shows that I was under the influence of an illegal drug that I would never absorb in my system. So I broke the law. And some people do it every day, and yet nothing happens. And I'm not dissing nobody. I'm just saying what it is. Whether you're 20, 18, on up to 120, we still make mistakes every day. Bill Clinton made a mistake at almost 47, 48 years old. Did Obama make a mistake by killing Osama bin Laden? Could we have detained him and extract him for more information other than to just take him out? And it's just, you know, and Bush, we know Bush, the black, let's just rest with the black Bush. We want that oil. That's what the claims were. And I don't want to mess with nobody from Skull and Bones because I don't want nothing to happen to me. So yeah, I know my limits. So yeah, but I'm just saying these presidents, they could make mistakes. Still, I guarantee if they had to go all the way back to the beginning, what would they change about their presidency, that if they can go back and change something, what would it be? So obviously they can't tamper in this world with the future and the past. Because if it was me, I would go back and change a lot of crap and be happy and influenced enough to change a lot of crap, you know. But I guess the rules state you can't meet your old yourself in a parallel dimension unless you're in like the sixth or seventh dimension. But yeah, I I I'm not really worried about that. All I know is that the population is going to grow, and if we don't train children early, do something for the children. You know that old crazy, whether black or white lady that says, "Think of the children, think of the children." You know, because if we don't put something on the plate that balances out the meal, then the children are going to go to jail by the time they hit 13 again. So really think of the children. And I have to admit, I hate, have you ever ate that ice cream and you know it's going to make you fat, but you keep eating it, but you know it's wrong? All I'm saying is think of the children, man. And, you know, in some cases, Trump is thinking of the children because he's brought AI into schools, and he's bringing AI into schools. I hope it's every school, even in the hood. you know we can make smart people out of the hood yet. If we, like, we are smart, but we can make even smarter copies of our generation if we start talking about investing funding into schools that are mostly minority. you know we all know that, like, it lacks in the community. I'm a statistic of my community. um I was in the hood, and I don't ever want to go back there. And why not bring a bright cloud with a rainbow pierced at its middle to it, to bring STEM programs to the Black communities, and programs that children never get to explore. They're always under distress, you know, and not enough to do what they need to do. If they had it good, where there's more foster parents, more adoptive parents, and more people they classify in different classifications, then this can make a better world for our minorities. If the woman wants to be cracked up and drugged up, or the man wants to be cracked up and drugged up, extract the child out of that situation. If you all, not you all as in you all that's watching me, but if you all haters out there want to be drugged up and cracked up and raise your children that way, that's on you. But you have a choice from here on out to hear my words and change. And it hurts your generation. Wouldn't you want to give? There should be a program where women give up their children to better parents, parents that are in a better position to take care of them. You know, I I breezed through high school. I'll say this and then I'll leave it alone and get off of here. I breezed through high school, but I never had that upbringing that required that I learned the tricks, the ins and outs on how to keep friendship relationships and how to interact with people. You know, I was just always a lone star. Like Chaz Michaels. You know, no, that I don't want. No, 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 that's a wrong idea. Anyway, so yeah, man, I was just a lone star, like I sat up there and I stayed to myself mostly, and I never got that interaction because of how I was raised, you know. I didn't have that guidance from my mother because she passed away. And I'll leave it there. I don't want to talk about no more he say, she say, what happened with who, you know. What I will say is that I grew up in the ghetto, and every day is a challenge for me to break out of my shell by being myself, being my black magic girl self, while seeking and providing diverse ways to open my eyes up to more that's out there for me. I want I want to seek that, and I want to learn about so much. I wish that I was one with a computer to learn so much about that computer. Who made that computer? What made that computer? Why was the computer created in the first place? I feel like machine learning is the best learning because, like the Google Cloud Network or analytics, their computers are talking to a parallel universe, and they keep saying it. They keep saying the stuff that they're talking to a parallel universe. And I'm like, dang, so that means that there's another copy out there, of me somewhere. I don't think y'all care, but I care about me and myself so I can know what I did, so I can know how to change the future. Wouldn't you want to meet yourselves? Wouldn't you want to meet yourselves and sit up there and try to change? You can't change the past, but telling the truth in the present and rebuilding what you did, whether under the influence or not, can change and make a better tone and demeanor for your future. And it's a fact that it can be changed. It can't be changed. It can be altered. What you do in the present, that's why we're stuck in the present. We plan for the future and we think about the past. That's why I try to change everything. That's why I try to change everything. And I hope I enlightened y'all. And even if it wasn't an enlightenment, it was more so of an awareness about, the statistics on Mexico and the statistics on uh, white versus black. I think that it's going to come down to using, unless Trump change it where it's finalized, I think it's going to come back to using electronics for the voter system. I'm not saying that what he's saying is wrong because I've explained myself already of why he is talking about that, because there were voter fraud in certain places. But if we can find a safe system, if they got government systems that are safe, why can't we take our government system and slap it on the electronic systems of the voting system? That would make voting just as serious as paper ballots. Use the system, the quantum. It's all about the quantum, man. Like seriously, take the quantum computer and the network and slap it on the voting machines where nobody can break in. I mean, y'all have so many guys. I mean, come on, CIA has its own system, FBI has its own system, you know, and y'all interjoin y'all systems when y'all can, like, come on now, you can't use that for that. A government system for voting, maybe one day they will. Maybe one day they will. I think that's accurate, where we will have to use our iris. It's going to come down to having to use our iris. Go to a voting booth. They scan your iris because it's going to come to that with an ID card, But it is with an ID card. The sensitive computers can scan your face and see your iris, but that's what we do now. So why can't we do it with electronic computers? That's all I'm saying. With a government backed security system, not no rinky dinky bureaucratic system where they begging the federal government for um, systems. They need those systems. You know, you know, a computer is a bunch of ones and zeros, and it can take millions of years to crack the most complex code on this computer. But with quantum computing, it takes seconds to crack a same code that would take millions or billions of years for this bad boy that we've been working on for almost 40 plus years to to be. I'm very intrigued by computers, you guys. I know it sounds crazy. A lot of people made up that's their loss. They made up, they joked about people, computers, as a computer is just an object to them. It's more like a useful tool and a friend to me, my computers. And it's not like, and whether you like it or not, it's your friend too. But it's like that friend that annoys you because we're always seeming to say, oh, computer, you're taking too slow. Oh man, it's computer today. Like we're always saying that, but think about how fast the user, the consumer made that computer and how much thinking that computer has to do in order to run its systems. We're going to GPU now. I hope I said that right. CPU to GPU. And I can't wait to get there. I always watch Mark Zuckerberg and his experiences. I hope that one day, years from now, if not decades, I don't care how long it takes me. I don't care. I want to be somewhere where I am talking to people that are intelligent and people that are um, have a lot to offer. They are the man-made figures behind the mold. They mold our communities. They mold our government. They mold us. They make a big impact on everything they do. We're affected by. Why not would I want to meet somebody that doesn't eat a cheeseburger but models more for the burger than himself. Why not would I want to meet a man like that? So, you guys, I am about to get off of here. But I, the reason why I want to meet him is because he's very intelligent, and I know there are, mark my words, whether I'm here or not, Mark Zuckerberg isn't who, when people like Mark, you can get away with a 7-year-old saying, Mama, I'm an alien. You'd be like, calm down, get your ass over that way, but calm down. You tell your child that you're thinking, get your ass over that way. I don't want to hear that shit. And then you got people like Mark and Elon Musk that says, I'm I'm not human like you guys no more. Or Elon Musk that says he's a 2,000-year-old vampire. You have to analyze those types of things and say, well, how did they get all that money? And it makes you wonder. I I don't I don't believe everything, but he let it slip. He said, I'm not all human. And that makes me curious to know, if you're not all human, what are you? The last thing I seen before we started between MySpace and Facebook is a guy. He had plugs coming out of his skin. I guess that's how they were going to start. That's how they started up the process. It's way overseas. He had plugs coming out of his skin, and he would connect to the computer. That's how he would connect. Um, I couldn't believe my eyes when I seen it. It was like on CBS or ABC or something. And I'm like, well, now we got the Neuralink, and now frequencies do a lot. Frequencies do a lot, and you know, there's a lot of material around us. That what if I told you that aluminum could be in our eyes? Parts, pieces of aluminum exist in the air. Let me make sure that's true. Hold on. Waiting on the question. Do 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 do. All I need is an answer, Brock, real quick. See, see what I'm saying? How I'm just sitting up there coaching. Well, I read that. Okay, here we go. So, so there is the highest concentration of aluminum is in urban China. I cannot believe I just said that. Urban. Easily inhalable 18%. 1 to 3 concentration, 1.0 to 3.0. I don't want to scare you guys. I didn't know it was going to get call me the chemtrails. Um, I could go further and say, well, you know, aluminum. I could go further. I don't want to talk about what I could say. I'll leave it alone. Because my purpose was just to prove that aluminum and abundant elements of Earth's crust and small pieces of particles of it, typically in the form of dust or aerosols, are naturally present in the air worldwide. These particles range from microscopic. Now imagine what you can do with natural aluminum being in your system. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's like an antenna, natural aluminum. And guess what? Aluminum is, I don't know if the element is AI or AL. So yeah, let me get off of here, you guys, before I start. You know, curiosity killed the cat. I'm so curious to know so much, but some of y'all don't drink and drive, don't do anything stupid. Please don't do nothing stupid. Like seriously, you know. Um, I have to say this, and I always say it, but I mean it. All races, every race, white, black, Hispanic, immigrant, all races, Arabic, I mean, uh, every race. I appreciate you guys watching me. This was a show that could have been heated about black, white, and Hispanic, but I made it into a gutsy, very talked about show. I talked about what I talked about, like um I wanted to make this a more laid back show than making it about, oh, well, there's 128, Caucasian people. I'm scared. I'm not scared of that because I know I didn't split it up between Democrat, Republican, and Independent, and I didn't split it up in any other form. As long as everything is fair, the people that break the law, they go to jail. And I don't want our race to hurt. I want fairness to be given to our race, finally. I just want it to be fair. And I want black people to be fair with white people too. That goes both ways. White privileges, or white privilege, however you say it, is gradually fading. And I have to finally congratulate the Democrats on making that fade. Y'all made it fade because y'all reach out and y'all help the black communities. I wish it was more so that y'all um, just remember this, and I'm gonna get off of here. Help someone that is in my situation. That goes for both Republican and Democrat. Help someone that's in my situation. I would say that that's a damn good job. Salute you. Hell, I don't want to say that because I'm not a comedian, but I I I, I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it. Somebody that doesn't have some extraordinary background but created a life for herself, trying to create a good life for herself. I've been looking at these houses, you guys, and I'm like, I cannot wait to be in a house because I'm going to decorate the crap out of it. It's going to be my nest egg for a while. So, yeah, let me get off of here. Um, I will see y'all tomorrow bright and early, and we will do some more talking about editing videos, probably edit a video or two, you know, whatever it takes. So y'all take care and be safe. And remember, you have a way you can move. You can move, man. I'm serious. The city of New York and the city of Kannapolis, North Carolina are two different cities. That's a bad place too now because it's considered parts, the outskirts of Charlotte. But what I'm saying is moving to the outskirts of places could mean a second chance if you're really serious about it. That's where my heart is to you guys. Only you can change the way you are. Only you can change the way you are. Maybe you're going to end up having to work minimum wage the rest of your life. But if you find the right job to work minimum wage, you can make it. And that goes to all races. Good night, y'all. Never waste my time, you all I want.